Hello and welcome in to episode 106 of Two Man Game with Damon and Dom. I'm Damon, that's Dom, and you are the listener. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our program on YouTube, on Spotify. Leave 5 stars on either platform. Share, 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 and share again. It is March 9th, 9:30 p.m. We have just under a month left of the NBA season, counting down to the playoffs. 10, 15 games left for each team. We are right around the corner. And today, Dom and I decided we're going to look past the favorites for MVP, Nikola Jokic and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And we know those are going to be one and two in whatever order. What about the other three spots on that MVP ballot? What do those look like? What should they look like? Because I think that's a little more interesting. But before we get into any of that, Dom, how are you today?
Damon, I'm good. I'm good. I have had a very busy week.
Nice.
Last week was, as I told you, I work at a school. We were being accredited, so super busy. Didn't have time to pod. Unfortunately, I was working like 13-hour days. So it's over. I'm done. We're good. We're in the clear. The week before I saw Clippers Timberwolves, and that was super fun. I watched Anthony Edwards basically shoot a game winner. It wasn't a buzzer beater, but it was a game winner, and it was a really close game, 94 to 88. It was just a defensive shootout, not defensive shootout. It was a defensive gauntlet of sorts. Just both teams could not score, and it was just a lot of fun. Had a good time, and then this weekend I watched some of my friends run the LA Marathon. Shout out to them, and they got their medals and they completed it. So that was really cool. To have you ever like seen anyone at a marathon like the Austin Marathon, like running or
No, the I would say the closest I ever got to this was in high school and we were in National Honor Society, the Iron Man, whatever that thing is called, the triathlon.
triathlon? Yeah.
Um, yeah, handing out waters to people for that. That's about as close as I've been to the marathon scene. I don't think I've ever seen a marathon or been near a marathon. And if I was, I did certainly didn't realize it.
Yeah, I used to just drive around town and then I would hit traffic and think, oh my God, it's a marathon. And I would be like, oh, I hate these. And then I went to go like witness it and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And maybe, I don't know, I've been running, been talking about like working out and stuff. And I was like, maybe one day I could do it. Because you could
No
just walk
shot.
it.
No
Just
shot
walk.
I could do a marathon.
You could walk. It's not, it's 26 miles does like walking. It would take forever, but I don't think it's like too crazy. But what do I know? Hey, you know what I want? But you know what I want to know? I want to know how you are. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Jared and I just potted yesterday, so let me try to think of some new stuff to say 'cause I don't remember what I said. I probably mentioned disc golf because we played it 3 weeks in a row. I'm still undefeated in that respect. One day, one of them will catch me, but I have the experience on them. So it's not fair for them. Work. This is the last week of work before spring break. Spring break next week, so that's big. Of course, just trying to make it, just trying to hold on. I can use my sleep apnea machine again so I can sleep. That's nice because I haven't been able to sleep for like a month since my surgery. And yeah, everything's good. Lots of NFL free agency news today coming our way. So um, yeah, big day for
Without
your.
even
I was about to
knowing.
say your Oakland Raiders, but it's your Las Vegas Raiders, I guess.
Don't remind me, man.
Technically. But I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Can't complain. You know what? I'll talk about this because I haven't talked about this, I don't think. I've been for like the last 2 months, maybe. I've been on a huge WWE binge. I've been watching all kinds of matches and reading like lore and
Uh-huh.
just I've been super into it. Everything from like 1995 to like now. I'm just like catching up on everything and watching the big highlights and stuff. It's been a blast.
Dude, that's crazy. That's awesome. I've always thought like it's such a spectacle, but I'm so behind on the spectacle. Like I don't know any of the backstories or anything. And Nico, whom you know, he's huge WWE and he'll try to like explain things sometimes.
Hmm.
And I don't. But like I love that for us grown men. It's just such a spectacle, such a fun thing to like just watch and like
Yeah.
see people do. Yeah.
Certainly past its heyday. It's like a weird time right now, but I would say like late 90s up until like mid tens was like pretty peak stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
You have a favorite?
yeah.
Who's your favorite wrestler right now?
That's a really hard question. I've been thinking about this because I've been showing it to our mutual friend Shay, and he now has like favorite wrestlers and stuff.
That's
Um,
cool.
I would probably just because the move is so cool and it always gets me, I would probably lean Randy Orton for the
Randy
RKO.
Orton. Yeah, RKO, dude. Oh, RKO. Oh.
But
I
it's hard to pick.
yeah, I have no clue where to begin. I
Yeah, yeah.
could barely name wrestlers. That's cool. I love that. I also didn't expect Shay would be getting into that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I've just been like streaming. It's like all on YouTube for free, basically. They put like all their
Yeah,
stuff on there, so
that's
just been
awesome.
streaming a bunch of it. But let's get into basketball. Let's get
Let's
into a
do
real
it.
sport.
Let's do it.
Let's start, going from men in their underwear. Let's talk about women in their underwear. The Atlanta Hawks were planning on hosting Magic City Night. Magic City is a strip club in Atlanta. So they were having a partnership with this strip club against the Magic City Night, um, March 16th, and the NBA has now canceled that promotion. So originally it was supposed to be the strip club in Atlanta working with them, selling their famous lemon pepper wings, who apparently they're named after Lou Williams because of his whole wing thing in the bubble, that whole ordeal, and he also used to
Oh
play
my
on the
God.
Hawks.
Yeah.
So so it became like a big thing, and Luke Cornett, who's on the Spurs, not on either of these teams, spoke out about how this is, like degrading to women, and no one should be like happy with this, which I totally understand his point. And then apparently there's a statement released by the NBA today. They reached out and they were like trying to figure out like what are you trying to get out of this? And the Hawks gave him an answer, and the NBA was not satisfied with their answer and said we're going to go ahead and cancel this promo. So apparently some things will still be happening, like Ti is performing at halftime. That's still happening. I think there will still maybe be wings being sold, but the whole Magic City thing has been kind of shut down.
It's really interesting because I understand. So I have friends here who strip and are strippers, and it's a very empowering thing to them. And as women, like they enjoy that is like a power thing for them. So from that perspective, I'm like, what's the big deal about this? And then I think, oh yeah, children go to this. Maybe we should try to like separate, like I understand that it's an art form for some and that is what they like to do and they're able to make a living off of that and that's awesome. But especially NBA who's it's for everyone. You can't just really have something that's very much adult entertainment for these kids, especially like in the middle. Like you're gonna be asking too many questions, and like that's not ready. It's just probably not the right time and place for that kind of stuff. So I think it's probably the right decision not to be partnering with the strip club for a basketball game. But I also get I think there's better ways you can get the community involved in other places that might be a bit more welcoming to people of all ages and stuff like that. So, um, Ti is cool though. I love that song. Whatever you like, man. That's a killer song. Ever since I was in middle
You can
school.
have whatever you like.
Oh, whatever you
Couldn't
like, not whatever
could
you want. You can
couldn't
have
have told you
whatever
that
you
song was by
like.
Ti, to be honest.
Oh, it's Ti, baby. Um, what's not by Ti is. Are you reading something about this, or are you reading something
Yeah,
else?
yeah, I am reading something about this. Good call. I was trying to find Luke Cornett's exact statement because I didn't want to misquote him by saying it was degrading to women, like you were saying, it's empowering for women that you
Yeah,
know, which is obviously great for them. Um, More of the family friendly, I think, is kind of the issue that people have with this.
yeah.
I'd like to encourage the league, its owners, employees, and fans to hold the Atlanta Hawks to a higher standard of what they find worthy of promoting. Interesting. We desire to provide an environment where our fans of all ages can safely come and enjoy the game of basketball, where we can celebrate the history and culture of communities in good conscience. Celebration of a strip club is not conduct aligned with that vision. This is a really long letter. I'm just kind of picking out
Yeah.
bits and pieces of it here. It's like a whole page typed nicely by Luke Cornett, and then Al Horford retweeted and said, "Well said, Luke."
Good job,
Um,
Luke. Thumbs up.
Al Horford of Hawks fame. So
Oh, I didn't even think
interesting.
about that.
Hmm.
All right. Yeah. Well, so that's thank you for that because I kind of saw that in passing, didn't really know what that meant. In other news, a bit more on the basketball side. So the Charlotte Hornets have to send a 2026 second round pick to the Heat due to Terry Rozier being under investigation. Is this because like obviously he's the gambling
Yeah.
investigation that he's a part of and he was traded. Is it because he's being investigated during his time at the Hornets and like
Yes, that's
okay.
because what they're investigating is when he was a member of the Hornets. So, um, if anyone in the, I don't know, it's weird because like the Hornets theoretically they don't know that he's a part of the gambling, right? So why would they have to give up extra compensation? But since he may have some sort of fallout from this, I guess the league was like, yeah, you gotta send him some more stuff. Also funny because it's past the trade deadline, so they were just like, yeah, you gotta send him a pick anyway. Sorry about that.
It's really interesting. It's past the trade deadline. Terry Rozier's not playing.
They also haven't like released anything about it. Like
Since, yeah.
there's no punishment or anything that's being enacted on Terry Rozier that is preventing him from playing or anything. So
Yeah, it's just like he's a pariah because of this, so they're like he's not suiting up to play. It's this is a strange. This is almost kind of like I wouldn't say it's uncharted territory because it's not the first time we've talked on the pod about obviously players gambling and being investigated, but it always is when it comes out, they just no team plays them.
yeah,
And then yeah, like Malik Beasley now is playing in Puerto Rico and he'll be back next year, maybe, probably. So. Or
yeah,
even this year, I saw some stuff like because you can still sign free agents now, right? Or
yeah.
no?
You can still sign free agents for
Yeah,
a playoff run or something. Yeah,
yeah, I saw a list of like free agents available, and Malik Beasley was on there. I was like, I guess technically he is, but maybe
yep.
it's still just a little bit of like too recent. So yeah, it's just weird.
We shall see.
Yeah.
You put this story in, so why don't you take this one? Because I wasn't familiar with this occurring.
I shall take this. Dillon Brooks, of the Phoenix Suns, was arrested early Friday morning on suspicion of driving under the influence in Scottsdale, Arizona, police said. Officers conducted a traffic stop in Scottsdale at about 1 a.m., and after investigation, Brooks was arrested. He was taken to jail and released following the booking process around 3:30 a.m. It is interesting to note that the DUI arrest was marijuana related, and he passed a breathalyzer test. I don't know the law in Arizona if marijuana is illegal.
I was literally looking that up right now.
Thank you. I because I saw so they released the body cam footage, and in the body cam footage,
Oh, really?
the police officer asks, your car kind of smells like marijuana. Have you been smoking? He goes, no, I've not been smoking. They do the breathalyzer, it goes blows zeros, and then he's like, why am I being arrested if I'm blowing zero on the breathalyzer? It's like because we suspect you of DUI under marijuana, and he's just kind of like, okay, I'm not. Whatever. It was a very tame police body cam footage. It's just
Mm.
him being like, "Okay, I guess I'll get in the car." And then yeah, he was released a couple hours later. But did you find anything?
So, marijuana is legal for recreational use privately. Like you can't be out and about in public with it. But you can do it, well, at your home or whatever, and
Hmm.
also like medicinally. But of course, it is illegal to drive under the influence of marijuana, because it um,
Yeah,
impairs your ability and all that. So. Legal to have, legal to use at home, not legal to drive with. So that makes sense. Surprised he
yeah,
was only there for a couple hours. They probably learned he was Dillon Brooks. They're like, oh, we gotta let this fucking guy out. Um, we'll see if anything happens. I was also funny. I was looking back at our notes for last episode. Literally, the first thing we talked about, Dillon Brooks broke his left hand and will be out 4 to 6 weeks. Did he have a cast on in the video?
I couldn't see it. I couldn't see
Okay.
his hands really. It
That's
was
what
like
I was thinking.
like
I was thinking. I
above.
was picturing it in my head. I was like, he's driving with one arm, on one the other arm's on a cast or like a sling or something.
Yeah, no, you couldn't really tell. I have to look back. It's not like very clear. It's just a lot of
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
yeah. But
And Dillon Brooks is 6'8", so the body cam's
yeah,
like
there's like
at his fucking tummy.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
Can't see
just
him at
well,
all.
it was like up because I think it was like kind of tilt. It was an
Yeah, yeah,
interesting
yeah.
angle, but that's that's how it goes.
Um, yeah. In other Suns news, they waived Cole Anthony. So Cole Anthony not in the league right now. Get traded from the Magic to the Bucks for basically nothing. Got waived from the Bucks, picked up by the Suns, waived again. And this is a team, that's running Colin Gillespie out there for a lot of the year, and Devin Booker, of course, is their backcourt. Not a ton of backcourt help behind them. So if he can't get run there, I'm worried about his future in this league as an undersized guard.
Yeah, it was interesting just to see that because he just signed there. It was so quickly. On the other side of the spectrum, the Warriors extended Guy Santos on a 3-year, $15 million deal. He's been in the rotation quite a bit. I've seen his name a lot this year, just because so Kuminga's not there anymore. Steph Curry's been injured. Jimmy Butler's out, so he's just been getting a lot. There's a bit. Warriors have been running some crazy lineups. Pat Spencer getting
Yeah,
way
I
too
feel
many
like he's only
minutes.
playing because they're so injured. Like this guy, I don't know how to say this without sounding rude, but when I watch Guy Santos, it's like when I used to watch like Guy Santos, Pat Spencer Warrior lineups, and I was like, these guys are not NBA players. That's just like how I kind of think. Like they're not real life players, so this extension doesn't really make sense to me. But I mean, it's 5 million, it's kind of whatever for an NBA player, but still, I feel like you could probably find a Cole Anthony or something that maybe is a little better. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it might be. Whenever I see a deal like this, I think, oh, it could be used for like trade.
Fair.
Trade deals maybe later, like they're thinking in like the future, just like a $5 million little thing and
Yeah.
package him with somebody. But I mean, congrats to him. 5 million's a lot for.
More than I'll ever make. Um, a player that I think deserved to be signed, Ryan Nimhard. He was on a two-way deal after being taken in the second round, I believe, this recent draft, and now he's on a 2-year standard deal. He's been great for them all year, started for them some, been a big part of their rotation and what they've been doing. Now, the results haven't been great in Dallas, but he's been kind of one of the bright stars of the season. And they ended up waiving Tyus Jones to create room, who ended up signing with the Nuggets. Tyus Jones literally just got there from the trade deadline from the Hornets, so he did not make an impact on them, I guess. Tyus Jones went from like best backup point guard in the league to not even on a roster basically in like 2 months.
That happens to so many players. They are like the best backup, like a great sixth man, and then they change teams because they're like, oh, I can be a starter, and then it has never panned out. The other person I think is Montrezl Harrell. Remember him? Sixth man of the year,
Montrez,
goes
yeah,
to the Lakers, is in the league 1 more year, 2 more years, and then he's just like kind of bouncing around, and that's it.
yeah.
And same with Tyus Jones. He goes Suns, Magic, Hornets, Mavericks,
Now he's on the
Nuggets.
Nuggets.
I'm like, okay, I guess that's how that works. And then, so for the Memphis Grizzlies, because that's where I see related because Tyus Jones was like the best backup with the
You're
Grizzlies.
that's how
Yeah.
it. That's why I positioned it like that. That's right.
Boom. Same wavelength. The Memphis Grizzlies bought out Kyle Anderson, and he is returning to the Timberwolves. So, welcome back,
Back to
Kyle
Rudy
Anderson.
Gobert when he punched him. Remember that? That was fun.
When Kyle Anderson.
Uh,
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
uh,
Ah, that's crazy.
he said, "I want to go back to a good team. Actually, get me out of the
Yeah.
Jazz, out of the Grizzlies. I
You know,
need
he's
some."
he's the
Yes,
reason why Anthony Edwards wasn't number 5 initially. I think about that more than I should.
Kyle Anderson's coming back for his number.
I want number. I'm 5. I'm 5.
Yeah, probably not. The Grizzlies signed after buying out Kyle Anderson. They signed Taj Gibson to a 1-year deal.
What are they
Taj Gibson,
doing?
Unk Gibson, who, the Grizzlies are way out of the playoff picture. I looked at the playoff picture today. They're the 11th seed, and it's by a wide margin. They have no
Mm.
shot, basically, at getting back into the play-in. So maybe this is just a kind of a culture for these young guys as they develop throughout the season or something like that. He is going to be, assuming he hasn't suited up already. I'm not sure. Because I'm not trying to watch Grizzly games if I can avoid it. But assuming he does play or has played already, he will be the what number of player to play at a game at 40 years or older? How many players do you think have reached this feat?
How many players have so yeah,
How many
have
players
played when
have
they're
played in an
40?
NBA game aged 40 and up? Yep.
Okay, Kevin Willis, LeBron.
Just gonna start
Uh,
listing them all. It's hilarious.
I'm gonna say like fourth or fifth.
It's a fair guess, but according to my calculations, number 35. There's been a lot of guys that played in the
Oh,
NBA at age 40 or older.
yeah, naming all 35 players would be crazy. I was
Yeah,
gonna guess a lot of them were like from a long time ago because people would play.
probably.
Yeah, just because the league wasn't as competitive as it was now. You know, like
Or
back in the
and they probably,
70s.
you have people suiting up for 2 minutes at age 40, and it's like, yep. But
You count.
I can think of like Robert Parrish. I can think of
Yeah,
Kareem. I think played until he was 40. I think Stockton played until he was 40. Vince
yeah.
Carter, I know, played until he was
Oh
40.
my God, he totally. Yeah,
So there's just a couple names, but I couldn't. I certainly couldn't give you the list of 35.
yeah.
That was just a stat that I saw.
That's cool. Well,
Udonis, he was probably 40.
I think so too. Yeah. Well, there's a lot. Okay. Yeah, I'm washed. Sorry. I
Washed.
totally.
Casual alert.
Um. So, talking about someone who's not washed, the Grizzlies converted Olivier Maxence Prosper's two-way contract to a 2-year standard deal. So
Ah, yeah, I
congratulations to
remember
him.
he was waived by the Mavs. That was crazy.
Yeah, and he was a good, yeah, good young player. And yeah, Memphis picked him up, and he's been getting a lot of run. Especially because the Memphis Grizzlies aren't really playing for anything, so they're playing him.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job. So congrats to him.
And formerly of Grizzly fame, sent over to the Jazz in the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade, Vince Williams Jr. tore his ACL. He collided with Tari Eason, a pretty ugly looking play. Tore his ACL. Obviously, going to miss the rest of the season. May miss a little bit of next season too, depending on the recovery timeline. Wish nothing but the best for him. He had a good like half season on the Grizzlies, and I feel like I haven't really heard that much since then. And obviously, this is a big setback, especially in a team where there's so many guys that are young, all trying to get run. Injury like this could be pretty tough for him.
Yeah, I kind of think of like Taylor Hendricks, who was playing super well for the Jazz, and one of their best prospects breaks his leg, I think, something bad like that, and now he's on the Grizzlies. He was in that trade, because he got
Yeah.
set back, so like who knows what's going to happen, and hopefully speedy recovery and is back to where he was and able to work and get back in the rotation. Same Utah Jazz. Larry Markkinen is suffering from a hip impingement, bone bruise, and twisted ankle, and will miss a couple of weeks for the Jazz.
I just made up some stuff so he wouldn't play so they can tank.
Impingement is crazy. Impingement, that's crazy.
They're like, yeah, he got some stuff going on. I don't know. They're trying to tank without getting fined. Probably is
Yeah,
is
but
the
also, yeah, I wonder, do they, and I know we talked about this in our tanking episode a little bit, but I don't know if I really looked into it. If like the league actually gets like a doctor to like look at him and be like, oh yeah, he got hip impingement for sure. Oh yeah, he can't play.
Yeah, I don't think they
Just
can just lie about that. I think they do have to have some kind of
yeah.
physical medical records to back it up. Now,
Hmm.
I think every team has their own doctor, so
Yeah,
do
that
they
is
do they
true.
tell Mr. Utah Jazz doctor to do what they need? Maybe. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the merits of that. Um, another Euro legend, Nikola Vucevic, fractured his ring finger. Ouch. He's going to be out for about a month. On the Celtics, who he's their front court basically after they traded for him. It's back to Neemias Queta and Luka Garza for the next foreseeable future until Vucevic is back. Should be back early on in the playoffs, which the Celtics will certainly be in.
Yeah, get well soon, Vucevic. But here's the thing: I think the Celtics might be okay because, insanely enough, Jayson Tatum suited up for the Celtics on Friday, March 6th against the Mavericks, less than 10 months after his Achilles surgery. Tears his Achilles, recovers, ramps up, does all the practices, gets cleared to play. That is an insane timeline to get back on. And his stats, I think it was like 15 points, 12 rebounds, a very modest. It
Seven
seemed like he
assists.
7 assists, very just doing things around the fringes, not really trying to score as much as you usually does. That's good. Shouldn't really push himself too much. But this is insane. I hope he's healthy and nothing happens. And
We're
I mean,
we are really
welcome,
in the future.
yeah, welcome back, Jayson Tatum. That's insane. I kept seeing these teasers and was like,
You didn't believe it until it happened.
I mean, it's crazy. You tear a whole part of your body, and like that's a worst feeling injury. Like people report is like that's one of the worst pains you can ever feel is a torn Achilles, and he's back.
Yeah, he's back, and the Celtics are the two seed in the East, and he's just plugging right in. There have been several pods about this elsewhere that I'm sure people can listen to, but I'll say it quickly. Jason Tatum is one of those guys, kind of like Kevin Durant. He's just a plug and play star. He's not Luca, who's very heliocentric and needs the ball at all times to kind of do what he needs to do. Jason Tatum is a wing scorer, which is a thing that is super easy to fit into a system. And he's coming back to a squad that he knows. Sure, they have a couple changes. No Drew Holiday, no Porzingis this year, right? New guys in that regard, but he's worked with Missoula, he's worked with Jaylen Brown. He kind of knows the system that he's getting plugged into, and he played 27 minutes both games, so that's not 38-minute playoff workload, but that's pretty good workload coming back from this serious injury here.
Yeah, and good stats for those minutes too. Like it's not just like 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Like this is he's he's doing he's back, which is just
Uh,
crazy to say.
and the Celtics will never go away.
Never, and it sucks. God, 1 year, man. Just give me 1 year.
A little bit less of a shocking return. Trae Young came back and made his Wizards debut Thursday, March 5th against the Jazz. They lost because of the Wizards and they suck. He had 12.6 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, just 19 minutes of play, so he's still ramping up. But I'm a little surprised. I thought, they were really going to try to hold out for as long as they can, not really play Trae Young or Anthony Davis for the season, get the lowest possible pick, and then come into next season with their newly refined core. So see Trae Young suit up is a little surprising to me in that regard. But if he's healthy, they have no choice but to play him. And here he is. We'll see kind of what he looks like as the rest of the season goes on, but I don't expect they will, they're not playing for anything at this point, so I don't know. Maybe he just needs to kind of get used to the system with the guys that are there, and we'll see what that looks like for this last month or so.
Yeah, and don't worry, when his debut was in the Wizard City jersey, that was disgusting. So don't worry, they're still the
Naturally.
Wizards. Naturally, they're still the Wizards, and it's still gonna do that to a player. I really hope he does keep playing though. Just they're gonna lose games. He's not one of those. He's not gonna come in and just change everything, right? The Wizards still need a lot of work to do, but it's just good to get some chemistry building for maybe next year. Never
For
know.
sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about two teams that matter to us.
To us.
To
Here's
us.
to us.
Cheers to us. You want to tell me a little bit about your Houston Rockets?
Let me tell you a little bit about my Houston Rockets. 39 and 24, fourth in the Western Conference right now. It's a very tight race between three, the Timberwolves, all the way to seven, the Suns. I think the Suns, granted the Dillon Brooks injury, especially, are probably going to continue to fall and end up at that seven spot. And I feel like 3 and 6 is going to be a real toss-up between the Wolves, the Rockets, the Lakers, and the Nuggets. We're kind of all jarring for those spots. Um, it's interesting because if you're the 4 seed or 5 seed, you play likely the Thunder in the second round. So you probably want to be 3 or 6 so you can avoid that. If unless you're also scared of the Spurs at the 2 seed. Uh, yeah.
Real quick, I just noticed this looking at the standings. The Thunder and Spurs already clinched the postseason. They could lose every single game and still in the season and still make the postseason. They're still going to be at least the 6th seed.
Is that the six? That doesn't make sense. I feel like that would have to be they're like at least a play-in team.
Is that what that means? Is this
I
clinch
feel,
postseason? And to me, postseason's
I think
if you're
postseason is
clinched, it's
play in,
six.
playoffs is six, I think. I think those are two different things.
No, no, no. Clinched playing is PI. And they're not PI, they're PS, clinched postseason.
Because I feel like if they lost there's like at least 15 games. They lost every game, and every other team won every game. There's like they would be in the play-in. I feel like
They got to change their definitions then on
they
NBA.com. But I'm just saying, like, e- I
they're
think
way
that's what it
ahead.
is. Like, they're just super ahead. Anyways, I didn't mean to
Yeah,
derail, but like,
derailed.
seeing that is okay. We're done. All right, we're done.
So, since our
Sorry.
last
Yes.
spot, I think we've played 9 games. Losses to the Knicks, Heat, Warriors, and Spurs. 3 of those losses were pretty close. The Knicks and Warriors only by 2. The Heat by 10. We got obliterated by the Spurs, lost by 25. So those were all pretty competitive teams. Now the Warriors do have injuries right now, and the Heat are the Heat, so that's not great. But the Knicks and Spurs are good teams, and the Knicks game was particularly close. And then we have wins over pretty bad teams: the Jazz, Kings, the Wizards, Blazers, all subpar teams, and then the Magic as well, who I don't think are necessarily a subpar team, but they're playing way below expectations this season. So none of those wins are super impressive to me. So it's been kind of a theme. I think I pointed out before where some of our wins are coming against just whatever opponents, and then a lot of our losses are coming against teams that matter basically. So we haven't been able to put it together against those sort of teams. And the big problem, a reason for some of these close losses, is our half court offense is still very bad, especially at the end of games. We lack playmaking severely. Reed Shepard hasn't been getting a ton of clutch time runs. So in the fourth quarter, we see a lot of Kevin Durant, Şengün, Jabari Smith Jr., Amin Thompson. And the fifth guy kind of changes here and there. Sometimes it's Sorry Eason, sometimes it's someone else. The issue with that is that our possessions usually end up being Kevin Durant holding the ball for 20 seconds and taking a shot or making a last second pass. And that's just not great offense. So our clutch time offense, our fourth quarter offense, our half court offense, they're all kind of suffering still. And we're really just a team that excels in transition. And if we don't get a big lead in transition, if we don't get a lot of turnovers, if we don't get the offensive rebounds, we just can't keep up with some of the better offenses in the league. So I think that's why we're losing a lot of these close games.
Gotcha. Still fourth in the West. Still, still winning the games that you should be winning, so to speak. So that's good. But yeah, that is a tough problem to have, especially since Fred is still out. Lakers. Let's talk about my Lakers. Let's do
Talk
it.
about the league show.
Los Angeles Lakers currently fifth in the West, 39 and 25. We beat the Knicks yesterday in kind of a blowout, which was surprising. Um, yeah, Knicks just not get their offense going, and we locked in on defense, which I've not seen a lot of this year, so that was very nice to see. We've also played games and won against the Warriors, the Kings, Pelicans, Pacers, and the Knicks. So all the teams pretty much you expect to win, except the Knicks. That was a good win for us. We did lose to the Suns, and we did lose to the Nuggets. Nuggets are on a bit of a slide right now, so probably would have been good to try and get a win against them under our belts, but it is what it is. LeBron James missed the last game against the Knicks with an elbow foot injury, which makes zero sense.
Classic elbow foot.
Why on again NBA.com elbow/foot injury, two different parts of the body. No, don't need a slash. It's one or the other,
Yeah.
or both. You don't put a slash. Like ankle/foot, sure.
Yeah.
Elbow/foot, no, you don't do that. And the Lakers, yeah, they have been. It's the first time, except for LeBron being out yesterday, that everyone's been healthy. And I mean, Luca is doing Luca things. He's winning us games. Austin Reeves being back has been great, getting us some scoring. And whenever we are able to lock in on defense, I really have to give props to Marcus Smart. He has been really doing a lot of that, like the stats, everything that won't show up on the stat sheet. He's been doing, getting the hustle and steals, and just kind of getting our motor going. DeAndre
Mm.
Ayton is not perfect,
Dominating.
is dominating. But I think if we really had a very solid center, I really think we could really make a really good push in the playoffs. But I just think we're a little weak in some respects. But Yeah, with Luca, Austin Reeves playing the way they do, with LeBron is playing at least at, a level that is expected of LeBron, then we'll see how it goes and just keep winning games. We'll see where we kind of end up in the top six in the West. I do think we'll fall somewhere in the top six. Um, the Suns are always just lingering, so
Anger.
we'll see. But yeah, that is the Lakers.
Not a non-zero chance we have a first round matchup between our squads. At 3 and 6 or 4 and 5. Either is possible. So
Again, if that happens, I will have to go to a game. I will have
you'll
to.
have to fly. You'll have to fly here.
What the? No,
It'll be less expensive to buy a plane ticket and a Rockets ticket than a Lakers ticket.
you. That could be true, actually. We'll see when the time comes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I looked at the dates because I'm going to Texas soon enough for a bachelor party. Shout out. So I checked to see when the playoffs start. Thankfully, it's after that whole trip. The play-in is
Hmm.
during that, so I'll miss that. But playoffs are after, so I will be locked in for the playoffs.
For sure.
Yeah,
It's time, Dom, to get
let's.
into the MVP candidates. So, like I mentioned at the start of the pod, I think Shea and Jokic are pretty much locks for 1 and 2. Now, Jokic is very close to being ineligible with games missed. So, if that were to happen, somebody else would move up into that second spot. But I feel like a lot of programs will talk about, is it Shea? Is it Jokic? And that's kind of what it was last year. So we want to avoid that and we want to look at the rest of the ballot. Who's third? That seems important. What about fourth and fifth? And, does that translate into all NBA first team exactly? It's positionless now. Some people think it should be. Some people think it shouldn't be. I think it should be because I basically think of all NBA as a 15-person MVP ballot now with the positionless, but not every journalist will. I'm not a journalist, but not NBA journalist will always agree with that. Sometimes they have their own opinions. So we looked at who deserves those spots. Dom, did you have a process? Did you have what led you to your decisions here?
I was thinking a lot about where teams are in the standings.
Okay.
So usually, to me, MVP is a player on the team who maybe didn't defy expectations. Maybe the expectation was that you're going to be really good, but you're the leader of that team and you're playing really well, more than people would have expected. And you're obviously the leader of that team and a top player just in the league and always in conversations about just, I don't, it's just being the player of the year. And a lot of teams came up when I was thinking about this, and the standings are not a lot not what we expected. It's kind of been all over the place. Didn't expect the Spurs to be second. Didn't expect the Pistons to be first. Didn't expect the Celtics to be second in the East either. So there's a lot looking at a lot of standings and trying to
Hmm.
evaluate why this is. Is it more of a team effort? Is it more because one person's carrying this team to this? So that's kind of where I started. And I had some players in mind already because I am me and I'm biased. But I did like change some things around that maybe I wouldn't have if I didn't kind of look into the standings a little bit. So that was my process. How is yours different?
Yeah, I started with the NBA ladder. They have an MVP ladder on who like the Kia MVP race or whatever, and they have 10 guys there. And I looked at that and I said, okay, this makes sense to me. These are the names that I would have thought of. And then I looked at each of those players' stats because I'm a stats fiend. I looked at percentages and efficiencies and attempts and all that. I looked at the standings a bit too, although for me, standings have never been that important if they're close enough. If they're not close, it's a little different. But if the teams are successful, the first seed and the third seed, like how big is that difference? It's not that big in my mind. It really depends on how much is a player contributing to that. That's what MVP means for me because team can be good without a player necessarily. I even looked at minutes and how much these players have played. All of them are eligible, of course, but there's been missed games for some, not as many for others. Minutes played kind of paints a picture in my mind too, in terms of how many reps some of these guys are getting. And then yeah, I kind of narrowed it down for me. I had 3 and 4 pretty easily. And 5 was kind of a revolving door of players, and I landed on somebody and was like, okay. And I have 3 honorable mentions because I they didn't end up in my 5 spot. That's just what happened, and I'm not going to talk about them first, so I can get to them later. Um, but just to kind of highlight how it was a little difficult to pick that last player for me. I'm going to ask you before we start, how many players do you think we'll have in common?
I think I think we're gonna have two.
I think we'll have one.
I
Um,
was thinking one, but I'm not. I'll say
I
two. You never
was gonna
know.
set my line at 1.5. So that was great. That was a great
Nice.
pick there. I want to start because
Please.
I want to get one commonality, or I want to get at least one right out the way, right off the back, and I'll be shocked if we don't have it common. That's my number 3 spot. My number 3, right after Shea and Jokic. I have Anthony Edwards at number 3, Dom. At number 3. Oh, let me plead my case, and then if he's on your list, you can tell what your reasonings. The Wolves currently 40 and 24. The third seed, amazingly, by half a game over the Rockets. Like we said, very, very close in that middle of the West. So even though they're the third seed, they lose 2 games, they could be the seventh seed. It's that close. And they are 7 games behind the Spurs for the second seed. So first and second seed have a big, big advantage over these guys. He's played in 54 of their games, so he's missed 10. He's allowed to miss math 17 because he has to play in 65 games, just 65 game rule. So I think he'll probably make it. He's played 36 minutes a game for them this season. He is averaging 30 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Pretty good numbers. 50% shooting, which is really efficient because he's shooting 21 shots a game. 41% from three, which is insane, insanely efficient. Especially because he's shooting 9 attempts. He's like one of the highest in the league in terms of 3-point attempts, and only 79% from the line, so not that great from the line, but um, very efficient. 50-40 in those first two numbers, 30 points a game. Clearly the leader of that team in their offense. No point guard really that has really fulfills the playmaking duties because Mike Conley has a lessened role now. What? Why are you
You just
laughing?
reminded me of a memory. No, 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 of the game. Finish,
He's
and I'll
laughing
tell
at
you.
me.
No, not you.
Um,
You reminded when you said the point guard thing. I remembered who they have, and then something happened in the game. I'll tell you. I'll tell
yeah,
you.
Io is kind of there now. He's kind of doing that. But no like guy. So he has been that good that I slid him into this 3 spot pretty comfortably. I didn't even really think about it that hard. I looked at the other guys and I was like, yeah, this feels good.
You know that makes me happy. That makes me very happy. The reason why I was just chuckling real quick is because I went to the Timberwolves Clippers game, and Mike Conley didn't start. He's back because of the
Yeah.
Hornets, all the buyout, whatever. They put him in. I think it was like in the third quarter. They put him in. They do like a dribble handoff with Gobert. He kind of dribbles around, goes to the elbow, shoots, air balls.
Oh,
And I was
oh,
like,
Michael Conley
I
Jr.
started like,
Oh.
no, because I was with a friend, and I was telling her like, oh, the story how he's back on this team is crazy. Kind of explain like, oh, he's traded, then he got bought out, then he's back, and then just airballs. I was like, yeah, that wasn't not good timing, Mike. All right, could have at least hit the rim. But that was just a funny little memory. You got me, yo, hey, yeah, you got me. I got Anthony Edwards on my list at number five.
Okay. All
At number
right.
five. And you want me to kind of explain why, or should I
Yeah. Yeah,
go? Okay,
please.
I'll just. So I wrote. I have also did the stats looking, and yeah, I think the reason why I considered him. I tried not to. I tried not to because the bias. Obviously, I really tried to kind of like look around, and I didn't have as much time researching as I maybe wanted to. But look at the stats, look where they are in the standings, and like think about the team he's on, and like they had a pretty underwhelming off season, and then trade deadline was good. Like I like Io, I think he's great, but I think they needed something a bit more because Io's a great, but he's still kind of figuring out what he is as a player, and he'll do that. But I think they needed kind of someone who's more solidified in their role as a point guard, probably. But regardless, They're the 3 seed. And he's playing great. Like you said, those 50, 40, almost 80, like pretty good. Pretty dang good.
I knew you
And
had the stats when I was reading them because I could see you looking at them.
because mine, I had the 10% percentage. So it was like 49.5%
Oh
from the
yeah,
field
I
I
just
have.
rounded
So
up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was like, actually, if you look at it, but I didn't have, I had the 40.9% from three. I didn't have how many attempts. That's nine is, so he's definitely a volume 3-point shooter. And yeah, it was, really cool to see watching it live. Highly recommend when the Timberwolves come to town, watch him. He's amazing to watch. So he was my number five. Should I say my number three? Or should I go
Why
four?
don't we get your four? Yeah, why don't we get your
Let's go
you?
for it. Let's go
I'll
for
go
it.
3 to 5, and you'll go five. You'll go five
Why not?
to.
Why not? So number four, I had it number three for a bit, but then I kind of thought more about circumstances of the league and the team and just everything. And at number four, I have Luka Doncic.
Yep. Yep.
And I think, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mostly because I wrote this, almost single-handedly keeping the Lakers out of the play-in. That is because we always end up somehow dipping down into seven and having to play one game to get in, and I hate it. He's doing everything in his power for us not to, and by everything in his power, he's averaging 32.5 points,
League high.
7.8 rebounds, league high, yeah, number one. 7.8 rebounds, 8.4 assists. So he's flirting with a triple double.
Yeah.
And that was one reason why I went him four and Anthony Edwards number five. And efficiency is it's fine, 47.4% from the field, 36% from three, which is better than average, but not great. And then 77.3% from the free throw line. That is the most frustrating thing about his game to me because he's so good at everything else. And it's a layup. It's literally a layup. And at the game I went to, he was missing, and it was pretty frustrating to see. But yeah, I mean, Luca is just doing Luca things and keeping the Lakers relevant. Without him, it would be a much longer, harder uphill battle to stay out of the play-in. So, a little bit of bias, I'm sure, but he's also averaging the most points in the league. And I think he just missed. I don't know how many games he played. How
It was
many
like
more?
52 or something like that. I just looked at
Yes.
it.
So he's probably won't. He'll be in the running because he won't miss out
Yeah.
on the injuries. But that is who I have at number four.
Yeah. Luca doesn't make my list. He doesn't make my list
I knew it.
because you said he's good at everything else, except the man doesn't play defense at all. Like at all. Like there's just nothing happening on that side of the ball. And half the time, this is the other thing that gets me, and this is a me thing. I know it's a you thing too. Just complains to the refs all the time, and I can't take it anymore. And I took him out. I was like, I can't do it. I can't put you on my list because it just hurts to watch, you know?
Yeah, I don't know how that like I actually have seen Lakers fans in the stands with Luca stop complaining to the refs and get back on defense. Like that's like a lot of signs
Yeah.
that they've made, and I'm like, not mad. I can't be mad at that. Even when he makes shots, he complains. I'm like, playa, you just you made it. Get
Always,
back.
always thinking
Yeah,
everything is a
so
foul. It
so
drives me crazy.
totally for sure. And I knew you probably weren't going to have him, so I was like, he should be talked about because a lot of people are talking about him in MVP
Yeah,
stuff.
I
So
mean most points in the league, almost a triple double is nothing to shy away at. But when you're averaging 33, but you're giving up 30, it's like, oh, you know. Um
makes total sense. I get it.
that's it bothers me, like it irks my soul. But he is one of my three honorable mention players because at one point he was in this revolving door of players that
Yeah.
landed at five. I'll do my number four now.
Ooh,
My
let's
number
do it.
four. My number four is a player that I think kind of defied expectations for me this season, really because he was put into a role that I didn't know if he could handle, and he's handled it well. And the team is here, and they're real, much to our chagrin. Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics. He ends up on my list at number four. Oh, let me give you the numbers. Let me give you the rundowns. The Celtics, 43-21. 2.5 games ahead of the Knicks for the two seed. They're the two seed in the East. And they're only 2.5 games behind the Pistons for the 1 seed in the East. Pistons loses a four straight, by the way. Not a great look for them. He has played in 57 games, so he's only missed seven so far this season. 34 minutes a game. Here are the numbers: 29 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, which is, I think, a lot for Jaylen Brown. 48% on a league high, I think, tied with Luka exactly, 22 shots per game. Um, but he's averaging 48%, which is pretty efficient. 35% from three, which is about league average, 6 attempts there. 78% from the line, so not great from the line, just like Ant. But yeah, I think, a lot of people wrote the Celtics off this season, me included. I had them pretty low in our preseason standings because I thought without Tatum and a lot of the other departures in the offseason, they were just going to have this weird kind of off year. But he really took over the number one role, and has done a great job of it all year. And I think is deservingly up here. I know a lot of people will credit Joe Mazzulla, as they should, because he's a great coach and he's having a coach of the year type season. But Jaylen Brown has been has filled in both the Jaylen Brown and the Tatum role basically so far this season, with like their second and third leading scorers being Peyton Pritchard and Derek White. So it's impressive. It's impressive. So that's how he landed here at my four spot.
Yeah, I love some Jaylen Brown. S tier, S tier, S tier
You look
player.
so sad about it.
No, well, I look so sad because my computer immediately glitched and almost crashed.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think I was caught in that, like, please don't crash right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, but I am happy for him. I respect his game a lot. We talk about an S tier. Obviously, the Celtics are the worst part about his game that he's on the Celtics. But
Yeah.
even then, like it is a very Cinderella-esque season for them. No one expected this kind of season, so I understand totally. And you know, anyone but Shea or Jokic, and I'd be happy at this point. So.
Yeah.
Even a Celtics player I would take. Shall I go number three? Want to do my
Yeah,
number
why don't
three?
you give your number three? I'm interested to see who you have.
All right, let's do it. Number three, I'm gonna turn off my Wi-Fi on my phone real quick because it just keeps.
Just save all the internet you
I'm not. I
can.
don't love this. I don't exact where I can. I don't love all this weird. Okay, anyways, number three, I have because really defied expectations and has been now a proven leader on this team, and they recently have been slipping, but they really worked their way up to the first seed, and this Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham, young player still, didn't really think that he would have what it takes this year. Like I think he has MVP qualities before going into this year, maybe one day, because he does just really get everyone involved in the game. But yeah, I think he really surprised a lot of people this year with the Pistons being first. Hopefully they can keep that. I think they deserve it for the whole season. And talking about our championship pie, I gave him a little bit, but only because I don't know if I could trust him in the end. Prove me wrong, Detroit, please. Cade Cunningham, averaging 25.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, 9.8 assists. So basically a double double. He's 45.6% from the field, pretty all right. 34.3% from three, which is not good, but better than he has been. Better than he has been. So respect that for him. And then 81.3% from the free throw line. So, I think in this respect why he's third, I think it's because of the team led aspect of it. Even though Anthony Edwards and Luca have better numbers, I think it was kind of a narrative thing. And I think that matters too when MVP is being decided.
Yeah, it's interesting. When we did this exercise, I mentioned I look at the ladder. When I first wrote down my kind of rough draft list of names, I wrote Cade at three because the Pistons were the 1 seed. And then as I kind of dug into the stats and the efficiency, it kind of bothered me. He just kind of slid further and further. He's obviously the leader of this team, and the reason they've been so successful this season. Not the reason, a big reason, of course. They have a lot of good things going for them, coaching, Jalen Duren, some of their role players, etc. But he's obviously the focal point, the 1A, whatever. And he's, I think, only behind Jokic in assist in terms of leading the league per game averages. So he's been a great playmaker for them. Ultimately, he fell off of my list entirely. He went from three to off my list because I just kept reading into the efficiency. I'm such an efficiency guy, and
That's
it irks me.
it matters. It totally matters. I get it.
But no, he definitely deserves some flowers. He deserves some love. He'll definitely be an All NBA first or second team player, and deservingly so. He is my second honorable mention. Um, my last honorable mention before my last player.
Don't upset me.
My
Honorable mention. Yeah, sorry.
my last honorable mention before my last player. So my last honorable mention is a guy that I think is league altering. Um, and if he played more, he would be number three on this list. The Bullet. It's Victor Wembanyama. He's in my honorable mention because the defense is insane. That he's leading the league in blocks again, but it's not about leading the league in blocks. It's about there's 10 times a game you can watch the Spurs play, and you can see a point guard on the other team make a decision that is not a decision they would normally make because Victor Wembanyama exists. They're like, I actually can't go for this floater because he'll block it because he's just that tall. Or I can't go for that corner pass because his arm is so long that it'll tip it in the paint. Like they just change. You have to change the way you play when you play against him. So his defense is that scary, and his offense is good too. He's averaging like 24 and 11 when I looked at the stats. But for me, he falls short because he missed some time. He's missed like 12 or 13 games. He's already pretty close to the limit for games that you can miss. And his minutes are only at like 29 because he came off the bench for so many minutes after coming back. So ultimately, he falls off my list in the honorable mention category because I just don't think he has played enough, and I think the Spurs were still pretty good when he was out. So, but I did want to mention him. My last and fifth final guy, though. Do you think you know who it is based on all the people we've talked about so far?
I really thought you were gonna say Wimby for that. That's why I said don't upset
Yeah,
me. Okay, but
yeah,
you didn't. You're whoever it
yeah.
is not, is gonna be fine. I mean, I have some ideas. I don't know exactly
I'm
who
a
it could
I'm
be
a
off the
I'm a
top of my
sucker
head.
for this guy. It's Donovan Mitchell.
I That was gonna be my guess, but I was like, I don't know, maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. But
Penciled in
please
at the five spot at some
tell
point
me.
with Wimby and Luca and Cade. Donovan Mitchell is who I'm currently awarding it to at 10:28 p.m. on March 9th because the Cavs are 39 and 25, only 2.5 games back. Um, are only 2.5 games ahead, sorry, of the Raptors for the four seed, but only 1.5 games back from the Knicks for the third seed. So they are right up there in contention for a top three seed after having a pretty subpar start to the season for most people's expectations. They've been the number one seed for the last couple of years, and this season they got off to a slow start. He's played 56 games, so he's missed 34 minutes a game. He is averaging, rounded, 29 points, six assists, which is pretty high for Donovan Mitchell, because they have Garland, now they have Harden, so they had a primary playmaker that was not him. So for him to have six assists is pretty good. Of course, Garland missed a lot of time when he was there. 4.5 rebounds, which is he's a guard, small guard, it's whatever. 48% from the field on 21 shots. He's also shooting a lot, and almost hitting half of them. 37% from three on nine attempts, so not as efficient as Anthony Edwards, but pretty efficient. And he's shooting 85% from the line, so he's a little better from the line. And I think the thing with Donovan Mitchell for me is the term of most valuable. When I think of that term, it's like the Pistons have survived without Wemby. I mean, sorry, without Cade, and the Spurs have survived without Wemby this season. Cade hasn't missed as many games; he's only missed like six, but the Pistons are like 5-1 in those games or something like that. Um, and Luca, I think there's definitely a case to be made that if he's not there, the Lakers are a disaster. But that's how I feel about Donovan Mitchell too. It really feels like he's been, despite their disappointing start to the season, he is always there and always consistent and always performs. And without him, they would be so much worse. So that's why I penciled him in for the fifth spot here. But like I said, this was easily the hardest spot for me. I think I was pretty happy with Anthony Edwards and Jaylen Brown. And then when I got to five, I was just going through four different guys, and I landed here with Donovan Mitchell.
I honestly love that pick. I think Donovan Mitchell somehow is like underrated, like he's not really talked about enough. I don't know if it's because of the locations he's at, it's always Utah or it was Cleveland. Now it's Cleveland. It's not really these big market places that you'd expect, but I mean, I'm a fan. He's an incredible NBA player, and yeah, I will say our lists are very us, and I love that. I love that. And you also you're right. You only had one. I thought maybe I'd get you on Cade, but
Yeah,
I didn't know his
yeah.
efficiencies were kind of like when you were kind of looking into it a bit more. So that makes more sense. I would have probably educationally guessed that you wouldn't pick him.
I wanted to. I really wanted to.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Don't worry. Ant-Man's there. Ant-Man's there. And you know,
Yeah, I'm.
I forgot. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned they're playing again this Wednesday. Timberwolves Clippers.
And you're going again.
I'm not actually gonna go this time. It's okay. I don't need to spend like $35 and then like $20 in food. I mean, they got this really good barbecue sauce at the
Mm,
stadium, so I do love
mm,
it. But
for sure.
I am going to wait. I'm gonna see the Raptors 'cause I haven't seen them yet this year, and they are good, which is
Yes,
crazy because
sir.
they haven't been in a while. So hopefully get to see some of my faves play out there. But that's our top five MVP. I liked this. This was a fun exercise. It was
Yeah.
funny. I was like, let's pick three. You're like, yeah, top five. It's like, no, but three, right? Like, I don't know if I could think of more. Like, so that was funny. Obviously, because Jokic, Shea,
Yeah.
top two. I think
We're
we got.
moving. Well, you guys know those are the top two, but Jokic might fall out.
Yeah,
So we'll
yeah,
see
yeah,
how it boils down.
yeah. This is
Um,
fun. This is cool.
yeah,
Well, I don't.
because like I said, the whole thing about this that is interesting. We just had um only one similar name, so we had what, five total names for six spots, like, or for three spots rather. We had five names for three spots. So
Could be anything.
like,
It's way more exciting that way.
yeah, it's uh it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season winds down for these guys. And we are so ready for the playoffs. I know I'm ready for the regular season is in the doldrums, I'm ready for it to be kind of done and move on to the postseason. So we'll cover that. We'll cover the rest of our award predictions once we kind of get to the end of the season here. And yeah, I'm ready for postseason basketball.
I will say, I think one of my favorite parts of the season is the very, very end when teams are trying to really win games to like make seedings
Mm,
or I like watching it when they're trying to win to get to
they're not
seedings. I
trying to
hate when they're trying to
lose.
lose. I hate that. And then they always,
Yeah,
the thing is, whenever they do that, they always end up losing the first round. Like, learn from your mistakes. Come on.
yeah.
So,
They're trying to switch the matchups or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, but I love the intensity sometimes that happens, like or some trying to make the play in, like that also is like
Oh
play
yeah.
in that
It's
also
pretty
like
it's pretty clear who's making it this year though. Like the Bucks are the
yeah
11 seed in the East, so if Giannis really tries to make a push, maybe, but the drop from 10 to 11 is pretty stark in both conferences right now.
yeah. Hawks are on a six game win streak too. Heat 5 game win streak.
Yeah, it
So
it would be tough. The Hornets are like somehow the best team in the East right for like the last month.
yeah, they
Um,
have the best averages. They have lost two in a row, but I did see they finally did pass 500, which was like incredible. I mean,
Monumental achievement for the
yeah.
Hornets.
I mean, but now they're under. Don't worry, don't worry. They're back under 500. But
They're
like they were
back as
there
we
for
expected.
but they were for a second. So that was pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
we'll see where that ends
Oh,
up.
I think it's time for my shot, Mr.
Take your
Dom.
shot. Take your shot. Oh, you got this. I'm feeling it. Oh, he got it. Oh, he's shooting it. Oh, he got it. What did I say? What did I say?
Moneyball.
Money. Um, yeah, this is a fun pod. I hope everyone enjoyed listening to us talk about who our MVP, why I say MVP candidates, besides the obvious two, could be, and caught you up with some news. And we'll see you next time on Two Men Game with Damon and Dom.
Shout out Dom for the new intro. Buckets.